Hi everyone, this is Lando and you are watching Lando Nation. The time now is 12:34 PM on this Tuesday, the 15th of February 2011. It's time to talk about all the latest Aussie news headlines, and the first thing I want to do is put in my 2 cents worth about all these comebacks in Australian swimming. 2 weeks ago, 5-time Olympic gold medalist Ian Thorpe had announced that he was making a return to professional swimming. Now it appears that as of last night, Michael Klim is also looking to jump back into the pool. Add to that the success of both Jeff Hugel and Libby Trickett after their brief retirements, and you've got yourself a modern-day flashback to the good old days of Australian swimming. Sure, it could mean plenty of medals for the Aussies come the London Olympics in 2012, but in my view, I think this means that the lack of talent, the lack of marketability in our younger swimmers has meant that these golden oldies have been forced to dust off the cozies, not just to show the world that they've still got what it takes, but are basically trying to put this supposedly amateur sport back into the spotlight. Sure, we did have that fleeting romance with Eamon Sullivan and Stephanie Rice, and they were equally as talented at swimming as they were standing in front of a camera modelling underwear and rice. But since they split up, we haven't heard squat from either of them. And yes, I do understand that it is a negative outlook on things, but on the surface, if you think about it, it does look like one big PR stunt. So, but seriously, what are your thoughts? Please feel free to leave a comment or a video response. Now, on to some Aussie politics, and in particular this whole shit happens thing with the opposition leader Tony Abbott. Now, I don't really like him or what he's done for the Liberal Party, but then again, I'm no Labor fan either. For the record, I am a staunch supporter of the Democrats. It's just a shame that their party is all but dead. However, I am feeling sorry for both Abbott and Prime Minister Julia Gillard right now, because they're just copping a lot of flack over, of all things, their personalities. And on one hand, you've got Ms. Gillard appearing to be wooden in the face of this Cyclone Yasi disaster, and then after bursting into tears about it in Parliament, was accused of faking it. And then there's Mr. Abbott, who was caught out by some opportunistic red prick journalist when his private comments to some army representatives about a fallen soldier were put to air. And naturally, all the A Current Affair and Today Tonight viewers were up in arms about it. Now, I'll admit, it was a poor choice of words, but they were taken out of context. Clearly, Mr. Abbott was engaged in a private conversation with these men, and suddenly, this guy who had been eavesdropping confronts him about it. And I have to say, the reporter was very lucky that Mr. Abbott only gave him a death stare for 20 seconds, because it looked like he was holding himself back from beating 9 colours of shit out of him. Still, it does raise 2 questions. Are our politicians under too much pressure to be more personable? And if they do let their real selves out, even for only a second, are we too critical of them, and thus force them back behind the smoke and mirrors of their spin doctors? I'll say this though, if there is one person in Australian politics right now that they could really learn from, it's Queensland Premier Anna Bligh. The way that she has handled herself in the face of both the flood and the cyclone crises has been nothing short of spectacular. In any case, I would like to know what you think, so please feel free to leave a comment or a video response. And finally, in some medical news, the Victorian government has announced a parliamentary inquiry into increasing the number of organ donors in the state, including the possibility of a presumed consent system. Now, this is where all adults in the state of Victoria would automatically be registered as organ donors, unless they submit a formal objection. At the moment, only 1 in 10 people in Victoria are registered organ donors. And but what's even more alarming is that most of these requests are blocked by their next of kin. At the moment, there are 1,700 people on the transplant waiting lists, and only 309 donors were able to give organs last year to save 931 lives. Now, I can certainly appreciate and understand that grieving families would be very reluctant to have parts of their deceased partner, child or sibling given away to others. It's completely understandable. However, as much as it pains me to say it, who are they to decide what an individual does with their body when they pass away? I'm certain that my family would be proud to know that I'm an organ donor, and that they would respect my wish, just as I would respect theirs if they are also registered as organ donors. It's a very sensitive issue, don't get me wrong, but it's one that clearly needs to be addressed. I'm proud to say that I am an organ donor, and I do support this system, but what do you think? Again, please, don't be shy. Leave a comment or a video response. And on that note, that's all that's been happening in my part of the world. So, due to work commitments, I won't be posting a video blog tomorrow, but I will be back to YouTube on Thursday with the next edition of 5-Card Draw, your one-stop shop for all things poker. In the meantime, you can check out all the news items I've discussed today in the drop-down box below. And please don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and be sure to keep up with all my other happenings on my written blog, lando-nation.blogspot.com. This is Lando once again for Lando Nation. Thanks for watching. Ciao for now.